right, Kyle. I feel like this is somewhat fitting as we just came to the close of the Winter Olympics, and then obviously we're all fans of Summer Olympics as well.
Okay, okay.
We are gonna rank in an 8 seed bracket the top sports that do not involve a ball, oblong ball, or puck of any kind. So
So top
sports that do not
non-ball
include a ball.
non-ball sports.
Yes. So
Ooh.
uh, I intentionally, because I was saying non-ball was the first idea in my head, and I was like, well, obviously hockey. So I'm getting hockey out of there since I talk about hockey on the podcast too much as it is already. So soccer, baseball, softball,
Right.
basketball, football,
American
hockey, they're all
football.
off the
Yeah.
table. So favorite sport that does
Ooh.
not include a ball.
Ooh.
So
I've got
I'll give
one.
you a few.
I've,
Oh
I've,
yeah,
I've I've got one off the top of my head. I've got how many seeds are we going? I gotta know.
we're going 8 seeds, which is going to be tough because there's going to be a whole lot of snubs.
I was gonna say I've got a lot off the top of my head now. As far as how I'm gonna have them organized, that's a whole
Yeah.
side deal
No.
here. 8 seeds. Okay, 8 seeds. We're gonna go non-ball sports. Oh man, I'm nervous on this one because I know that I'm gonna think of one immediately after we're done.
Yeah.
But okay,
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 but I will buy you about 30 seconds here because I'll give one pick in my mind.
okay. You got your number one ready to go.
I Yeah, I got my number one ready to go because
Okay,
I had a little bit more time to think about it than you did. So I'll let you think for a moment while I go through. And I want to be clear. My first choice is a sport that actually contains other sports, and I'm going to leave those on the table. So just because I pick this doesn't mean the other ones are off the table.
okay.
This is a sport I grew up around and have a a closeted passion for that I don't talk about much. I'm going with triathlon. I've been a big triathlon fan and participant, at least earlier in my life, for a long time. So yeah, for those of you who aren't aware, swim, bike, run. So you swim a portion, then you bike, then you run. It's an endurance race, and kind of the pinnacle of it is the Ironman, which is 112 miles. No, that's just the bike. It's really long. I normally know the numbers right off the top of my head. It's 144 point something total miles traveled between swimming, biking, and running. So it's
That's
a pretty
crazy.
impressive feat. Yeah, and the the champion the world championship is held in Hawaii every year, and I always watch it, or at least watch some of the highlights of it if I miss it live. So yeah, I'm going to triathlon as my number one seed.
That's a good number one seed. It's actually I thought you might be taking mine when you mentioned this, um, but and I don't know if I can. I don't. I'm not going to narrow it down because there are so many others that you can use. So I'm not gonna narrow this down. I'm just gonna literally include just it is what it is. I'm gonna say track and field.
Okay.
I and I don't think I'm alone on this one in as far as our podcast goes. I believe Steve and I are probably very similar this way. If track and field is on TV, that is what I am watching. Like if
Yeah.
I'm going through the channels and there is any semblance of track and field, whether it's an NCAA, just like a U.S. track and field event, whatever it is, track and field is hands down like I just think it's sheer athleticism, just not involving a ball, and I love it every bit of it. Even when people are like, "Ugh, I can't stand races like the 3,000 meter or the steeplechase," or I love distances, and I think that there's so much to a distance race even. So I'm gonna go with track and field number two.
I like it. I like it. Okay, let's move into the number three spot. Um, I'm gonna go. Oh gosh, I've got a couple right at the tip of my tongue. I'm changing up my list right in the moment. I feel
Ooh,
like this sport gets its hype every 4 years when the Olympic rolls around, and then people kind of forget about it. but I genuinely believe that the athletes in the sport are maybe some of the most impressive athletes in terms of body control and just general physical ability of any
Ooh,
sport, and that's
okay.
gymnastics.
Yeah, dude. Gymnastics was number 2 on my list. So
Yeah,
we are
yeah,
gymnastics is
it's
dope.
a yeah, it's so impressive, and when you watch the Olympics, I think you kind of get numb to just how physically impressive the feats that they're pulling off are. Go down to your local playground and try to do half of anything that they do, and it's just so impressive to me. So I'm going with gymnastics. It's such an impressive sport.
I like it. I like that a lot. Um, hmm. Jason, I have a question. If we're including like extreme sports, how specific do I need to be? Like, let's say for example, I said skateboarding. Do I need to say like skateboarding like vert or skateboarding street? Like, does that make sense? Because within like snowboarding or skateboarding or
Yeah,
skiing,
yeah.
like
You've got pipe and you've got big
yeah,
jump. Yeah, no,
exactly.
I
How like small do I need to be?
I would lean towards the entirety of the sport, so like
So is it
snowboard, skateboard, something like
okay?
that. But
Gotcha.
if for some reason you're like, hey, half pipe is cool and it's better than the other one, so I just want to pick half pipe, I'm totally open to that. But yeah,
Gotcha.
my tendency would be to go towards just the entirety of the sport rather than event by event.
Gotcha. Now, the only one that I would probably now I'm not making this pick, but the only one that I would probably go different on is if we were to say skiing, I would consider like skiing one thing and cross country skiing to be two separate deals. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah.
Okay. I just want in case one of us goes skiing with that. Um, I'm gonna go. Hmm. I think I'm gonna go with swimming. I think again. It's very similar to my track and field take. Like it's literally just a race, but yeah, I'm gonna go with swimming at the number 4 seat. I don't know if there's a more like exciting race than watching. When you watch like those swim meets and you can see like the world record line or the Olympic record line and like where they are in the pool, and then you see like
Hmm.
there's two swimmers right next to each other, and it's going to come down to literally who takes the last who either takes one more stroke or who doesn't, who's reaching for the wall early. I love that stuff, and I just
Yeah.
think that we have, especially as we watch U.S. Olympics, I feel like our swimming lately we've just been really really spoiled in that manner. So I got to go swimming at number 4.
I like it. I like it. That was when I ended up picking gymnastics. That's what I was waffling between the swimming and gymnastics. So I'm glad you
Oh,
got
good.
that. Okay, I'm gonna jump in. This is my third pick, which I guess makes it fifth overall. Uh, just purely because of the extreme gut check that it is. Um, I'm gonna go with skeleton, and I'm going with skeleton over sled and luge because that it like guts it takes to sport is just so impressive to me. It's one of those things. Every time I watch it, I'm just like, that looks like a suicide mission, but they're so good at it. So yeah, I'm going with skeleton. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that,
I
but
like it, dude. Skeleton is nuts. Anytime I watch somebody do the skeleton, my whole body just tenses up. It's so
yeah.
stressful to watch, but really,
I
really
mean, the
fun.
sport is named after a dead person.
Yeah,
Like it's just
yeah. It's
that's
it's literally called skeleton. The name of it is like the bones of your body, not
like
including the rest
you
of your
will
body.
die.
Yeah,
Yes.
I love it. Okay, I'm gonna go maybe a slightly different route here. I'm gonna go ahead and call out curling at number 6.
Nice.
I think that curling is and I don't think it's just because it's trendy. I feel like there is kind of this like it was made fun of so hard when it first showed up in the Olympics. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, this sport sucks. But then all of a sudden people were like, oh, I'm gonna ironically like curling. But then I think we're past that. I think
Yeah.
The oh, I ironically like curling is gone. And if you like curling, you love curling, and it's dope and it's super super fun. So I got to give a shout out to winter sport curling at number 6.
Yeah. No, one of the things I like about curling is that it feels like one of the more accessible sports. Like when I watch the
Yeah,
Olympics, there's a lot of things where I'm like, wow, those gymnasts were amazing. But I'm not looking at any gyms to see if I can join a gymnastics league.
yeah,
Like after watching curling,
I could
I
do
can't
that.
do it as good as those guys did it,
Yeah,
but I'll try.
but exactly, it's
It's a very
accessible.
accessible sport. Yeah.
Agreed,
So
agreed.
I like that. I like that call out. Obviously, yeah, we've gotten really into curling as a show. At one point, talking about trying to form our own curling team, though that
Which
didn't come to fruition. It
I
was
would
definitely
I would
talked
be
about.
I still would be in.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to use my last pick to earn some bonus points in my personal life. My son and I actually later this year going to be testing for our black belts in
Yeah,
Taekwondo. So I'll call out all martial arts,
martial
but
arts. I was
specifically
gonna say yeah,
Taekwondo. Yeah,
martial
so we'll go
arts.
martial arts, but specifically Taekwondo and um, yeah, any of those. The one thing I didn't realize going into it, because when you think of martial arts, you think of just like fighting styles and stuff like that, and there's a lot to that where it's it's different. You're learning different fighting techniques and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but so much more. I've learned that the sports are about body control and meditation, and it's actually been a really really fun experience for me. The last 2 years I've been doing that with my son, and it's been a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm going with martial arts slash taekwondo for my I guess the seventh seed in the bracket.
Yeah, I like it. Ooh, Jason, I just realized having the 8th seed is not fun with this
So
one.
many
There's
snubs,
so many
so many
snubs.
snubs.
I literally have like 4 that I'm like that deserves to be on this list. But then I look at our list and I go, I don't know if I'd take any of them off. So
Yeah,
this could easily be like a 32 seed bracket, but I'm glad we stuck with 8. Oh, man, I'm debating. I'm debating between a few, but I think ultimately, Ooh. Oh man, I don't sneaking know. All right, ultimately, I gotta go with one. And it's probably because I think culturally it's impactful. Not just it was culturally important in America, and then it became culturally important, and is still driving major cultural importance, specifically in South America. So I got to give a shout out to skateboarding at number 8.
all right, I like it.
Now, I suck at
That's
skateboarding. I cannot skateboard, but I love skateboarding. Like, not doing it, but watching it. Does that make sense?
yeah.
I
I can't
love,
tell you
love watching
how many
skateboarding.
hours I spent in my front yard trying to do an ollie, and I don't think I ever once got like
Ever
a
could do one?
millimeter off the ground.
um, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was maybe the most
Oh,
impactful video game of my life. Not just for, liking a certain sport or a type of video game, but literally the soundtrack of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater formed my own personal music tastes. So it has a deep um, type of pull for me. So I got to go
mhm.
skateboarding's huge. Now, Jason, there's about 30 snubs.
Yeah.
I almost picked fencing over skateboarding. I
Fencing's a
think
fun one. Yeah.
fencing's so dope. Kayaking, I
Yeah.
love watching I love watching people do kayaking,
Yeah.
especially even in those like man-made summer Olympic like type of situations.
Yeah.
The kayaking in nature freaks me out. And like but like I love watching the man-made ones where they're like racing through like, the rapids that are created there. Like
Yeah.
I think that's super dope, but um, yeah, there's a lot here. I mean, we didn't get into other extreme sports like snowboarding or BMX or anything like that, or motocross. We didn't hit any of that, but I'm curious. What are some other ones that were off the top of your head as far as could have slash should have made the list here?
Yeah. So I actually, along with your kayaking take, I actually really enjoy rowing.
Yeah,
Um,
rowing's dope.
that's a really good one. Um, and we didn't really hit kind of the ice mountain ones, but all the different skiing events. So slalom, moguls,
Yeah.
big, the big air jump, like
Super
all those ones, all
G.
the
Yeah.
snowboarding. Yeah.
There's
So
so many skiing and snowboarding ones that we could have gone with.
yeah, and I grew up snowboarding a lot, so I was part of that culture and very much influenced by snowboarding. So that's a big part of it too.
Right.
Um, I mean, gosh, my mind is just like swimming with all these different sports that I enjoy watching. We didn't call them out individually, but you've got the endurance sports, your swimming, your cycling, and your running. Obviously, I kind
Right.
of hit all three with the triathlon, but
Right.
and then the the sport that I think is I still I've always wondered what the origin story of the sport is, and I kind of don't want to know because the mystery is more fun than probably the answer is. But biathlon, the
Yeah.
cross country ski and shoot, like it's the weirdest sport. But every time it's on the Olympics, I'm just glued to my TV. I'm like, this is the
It
weirdest
is
sport, but I'm
so
all in.
weird.
Like I love it.
It is super weird. Yeah. But
Speed skating. I mean, there's just so many good ones. Yeah.
um yeah, I would say I don't know. We have like other like contact sports too, like your like boxing, wrestling,
Yeah.
sumo wrestling, other like shooting ones that since you brought up shooting like archery or like,
Yeah.
you know.
I should have done that. My wife was the Utah State champion in archery when she was in
What?
high school. Yeah. Yeah,
Are
don't
you
mess
for
with my
real?
wife. She's a sharpshooter. Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Cammy?
she
Cammy is an
yeah.
archer?
Yeah, Cammy was like a very competitive archer. And
Bro,
she was also she I don't know if she won state, but she was very competitive in 22 long rifle as well.
dude, that is nuts. That's amazing. I met your wife independent. So you and I knew each other, and then I met her at Utah State going to school, like separately
Mhm.
from me knowing that you two like had met and started dating. Um,
Yeah.
and like always think your wife's just like the coolest person ever. But that literally blows my mind. I can't wait to go tell Clyde that Cammy was just like an insane archer and marksman. I'm super stoked on that. She's gonna be
Yeah.
mad at you that you didn't include that. She'll be like, "Wait, you did a non-ball sport bracket and you didn't include archery or shooting of any kind?" And you're gonna be like, "I gave biathlon a shout out," and she's gonna just say,
Yeah.
"Run." Dude, that's awesome.
No, I don't have a shot. That's I was actually talking to somebody about that the other day. I was like, because we still have some 22s and stuff that are from the type that she liked to shoot and stuff.
Right.
And I was like, if anyone ever messes with our house, like they don't need to worry about me. Worry about my wife. She's the one. She's the one. She's the sharpshooter.
I love it, dude.